All right, let's talk about something real. That feeling of being super ambitious, having all these big dreams, but also feeling completely, frustratingly lazy. It's a strange paradox, right? Well, this isn't just about finding some temporary motivation. We're going to lay out a practical guide to finally actually take action. Let's get into it.
So let's just cut right to the chase. Do you ever get that feeling you have this incredible energy, this potential just bubbling up inside of you, but for some reason you just can't seem to unlock it? You want to change, you want to get up and start, but your body just isn't getting the memo. It's this awful feeling, isn't it? Like you're trying to walk through mud or something heavy is just pulling you down. You wake up, you've got these plans, you're ready to go, but then you check your phone for a second and poof, the drive is gone. The day ends, you promise yourself tomorrow, but then tomorrow becomes today and the whole cycle just starts over.
And this right here, this is the real heart of the problem. It's not just about being lazy. It's a full-on conflict, a battle going on inside of you. It's the person you dream of being versus the person you've just gotten comfortable being. And that fight, that's what we're here to figure out how to win.
So, what's the game plan? Look, we're not going to waste time with fluffy quotes or some motivational hype that wears off in an hour. This is a real, step-by-step roadmap designed to break that cycle for good. We're going to start by understanding ourselves a little better, and then build a real plan for change.
So, our journey has to start with the most important step of all, looking inward. See, before we can even think about changing our actions, we have to get a handle on our motivations. It all begins with a little self-understanding.
Now this is a total game changer. What if laziness isn't some deep character flaw? What if it's actually a signal, like a warning light on your dashboard, telling you that there's a disconnect between what you're trying to do and who you really are? Sometimes you're not lazy, you've just lost your sense of purpose. So before you start beating yourself up for not taking action, just pause. Ask yourself one honest question. This goal I'm chasing, does it actually matter to me? Does it light a fire in me? Because when you're working on something you don't truly believe in, every single step feels like a chore. But when you know your why, the energy kind of just shows up on its own.
Okay, so once you've reconnected with that why, it's time to tackle the actual habit of procrastination. And we're going to do it with a few super simple but incredibly powerful rules.
And the very first rule is all about this number. 2, as in the 2-minute rule.
Here's the psychology behind it, and it's pretty simple. Our brains absolutely hate, the idea of starting a big, intimidating task. But they don't really mind continuing something that's already in motion. So you just trick your brain. Tell yourself you'll only do it for 2 minutes. Read 1 page, do a few push-ups, tidy 1 corner of your desk. You'll be amazed how often those 2 minutes turn into 10 or 20, because starting was the only hard part.
And that idea leads perfectly into the next rule. Never, ever break the chain. For every big goal you have, set a ridiculously small minimum that you can do even on your absolute worst, most tired day. Maybe it's reading 1 single page, or doing 1 5-minute stretch. The task itself isn't the point. The point is to show up every single day and build a chain of consistency. Your only job is to not break that chain.
And this really is the main principle, isn't it? We get so trapped in planning the perfect day or the perfect workout that we end up doing nothing at all. But real success isn't built in one perfect, glorious day. It's built in all the small, quiet, consistent steps you take over time. Consistency will always be perfection.
All right, so you've got your why and you've got some simple rules to get you moving. But to make this change stick, we need to build some structures on the outside to support that new drive on the inside. It's time to build a system and an environment that works for you, not against you.
So, why a system? Well, think about it. Enthusiasm is great, but it's like a firework, a bright flash that's gone in a second. It's temporary and totally unreliable. A system, though, that's like the power grid. It's reliable, it's sustainable, and it's what keeps the lights on long after the initial excitement has faded away. You can't rely on feelings, you have to rely on your system.
And a huge part of your system is your physical environment. Seriously, instead of blaming yourself for having no willpower, just redesign your space to make it easier to do the right thing. Write down your tasks, clean your desk, put your running shoes right by the door. And for the love of all that is holy, move your phone far, far away when you need to focus. A supportive environment just makes action the default choice.
Okay, so we've worked on the internal why and the external how. The last piece of this puzzle is all about your mindset and knowing when you just can't do it all on your own.
Oh man, this is such a big one. The comparison game is a total trap, and it is the ultimate energy drain. You scroll online, you see what everyone else is doing, and it's so easy to feel like you are just hopelessly behind. And what does that feeling do? It makes you want to give up. It takes the focus off your own path and puts it on theirs.
You know, the only comparison that's actually healthy is with the person you were yesterday. That's it. That's the only question that matters. Am I just a tiny bit better, a tiny bit further along than I was yesterday? Even the smallest improvement is proof that you're moving forward. That's the only race you need to win.
And finally, we have to be real with ourselves. Willpower is not an infinite resource. It's like a muscle. It gets tired. When your determination starts to fade, and it will, that's not a sign of failure. It's a signal that it's time to ask for help. Whether that's from friends, family, or even a higher power, relying on something bigger than yourself is a sign of wisdom, not weakness.
So, we've talked about finding your why, building tiny habits, creating a system. But what does all of this really come down to? It all boils down to one simple, powerful idea. You have to start right now.
This quote just says it all perfectly. You know that gap you feel between the person you are right now and the person you want to become? Well, the bridge that connects those 2 points, that bridge is called discipline. Not motivation, not passion, just the simple daily act of doing the work.
And this is the final truth we all just have to accept. If you're sitting around waiting for the perfect moment to start, you're going to be waiting forever. It doesn't exist. Real, lasting change isn't made in a moment of grand inspiration. It's built with all the small, quiet, sometimes boring steps that you repeat day in and day out.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Forget about next week, forget about tomorrow. What is the one tiny 2-minute step that you are going to take today, right now?
Don't just think about it, let's make it real. Take a second and write that one small step down in the comments. That can be your first action right there. And hey, if any of this was helpful, it would mean the world if you'd subscribe and maybe share this with someone you know who's fighting this same battle. Thanks so much for your time.